Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Reality Podcast. Today's podcast is a feature from Reddit titled,
Am I the asshole for not leaving work to take my brother-in-law to the hospital? I, 26 female, live with my sister and Bill. I moved in with them last year after losing my job and my lease ended at my apartment. My sister and I have always been really close, but Bill and I struggled to get along ever since I met him. We just don't really have much in common, but we aren't hostile towards each other. Last weekend, my sister and her 2-year-old son went to the zoo with some other friends, and I was home with Bill. Bill was doing some work outside while I was working inside. I got a new job about 2 months ago that allows me to work from home, and I love it. But I am still in a probationary period, and I don't have a lot of leeway in terms of taking times off and have daily deadlines I need to meet. Around lunchtime, Bill comes in to cool off because it was really hot outside and was complaining of chest pains and having trouble breathing. He got some water and sat down to rest. But when the pain wouldn't go away, he asked me to take him to the hospital. I told him that I had deadlines I needed to meet and couldn't get away from work because I was still technically on probation. He told me to tell my job that it's an emergency, but I told him to call an ambulance instead. He said that ambulance is expensive and he just needs to be dropped off at the hospital. I don't need to stay with him. He said it will take about 30 minutes round trip. I told him I wouldn't want to risk my job and asked him to call 911 for him instead. The ambulance came and picked him up within minutes. Not even an hour later, my sister calls me and freaks out on me. She starts swearing at me and asks me what the fuck. I was taken by refusing to take Bill to the hospital. I tried to explain what happened, but she just kept yelling at me. So I hung up on her and tried to get back to work. I guess she cut her day at the zoo short because her and my nephew showed up an hour later and she basically dumped her kid on me and told me to watch him so she could go to the hospital. I told her I still have work to do, but she said I could either watch their kid or I could get the hell out of her house. So I put something on TV for the kid and finished up my work. My sister and brother-in-law came home about 2 hours later. I guess Bill had heat exhaustion, but all the tests on his heart and lungs came back okay. Bill just glared at me when they got home and he went straight to their bedroom. I tried talking to my sister, but she told me she has nothing to say to me because she was so upset and disappointed. She told me that we were going to have a serious talk about when I am going to move out because it is clear to her that my priorities aren't aligning with theirs right now. I tried to explain to her, but she cut me off, and she said she doesn't want to hear a single word out of her mouth unless it's sorry. Neither of them have spoken to me since, and I have been pretty much hiding in my room out of fear of them yelling at me again. I feel like I did the right thing, but am I really the asshole? Yes, you are.
That's crazy. She could have literally said that she had a family emergency and then handled it from there.
Honestly, she just didn't want to do it because if a job gives you trouble for just taking off 30 minutes to drive someone to the hospital, you don't need to be working there.
I know. I'm just like, they're giving you a place to stay. I understand. I don't know how the relationship is with them, but this person asked if you could take them to the hospital. The least you could be like, hey, can I get 30 minutes off, or can that be my lunch break so that way I could take that person out to the hospital? And oh my gosh, that bill for the ambulance is gonna be a lot.
Honestly, an arm and a leg. And she didn't mention nothing about them making her pay rent. So they're probably letting her live there free of charge. And she can't even do that simple of things.
I know. And then she's like, oh, I still have work. I can't watch the kid. You know, you could have just put the TV on. But then again, I kind of see her frustration. She is at work and she has things she got to handle. But, wow.
This also calls something about extension of deadline. She could extend the deadline. She could ask them. I'm sure they'll be like more understanding. Like, hey, I have a family emergency. Can I finish this when I get back? Can I finish this tomorrow?
Yeah.
She just didn't want to do it.
There could be communication within the company to figure out what you can do. But let us know what you guys think down below in the comments.